technical crap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing.
So I was so disappointed when Tim said that he couldn't make it tonight.
Because you're now stuck with me all alone.
No, not at all. Because one of the funniest things that's ever happened in my house, like I was like, holy shit. Like why isn't anybody else here? Because nobody in my house would understand the joke. But Tim would have shit his fucking pants. And I wish so hard he was on the podcast because like you'd hear Tim laugh so hard when I tell this story. Okay. So we're sitting upstairs at dinner. And Fanny's got a new friend named Xiayan.
That's already pretty funny.
Named Xiayan. So it's funny because all of Fanny's friends are all Chinese, right? And I said, like, you want to make any white friends? Like, all your friends are Chinese. And she's like, no, I don't know, whatever answer. And so I said to Jane, I was like, oh, it's strange. Mommy's friends are all Chinese. I said, not my friends. And she's like, no. I said, yeah, think about my friends. She goes, yeah, like Tom. I say, yeah, Tom. I said, how about Keenan? And then Jane, no word of a lie, Jane goes, Keenan's white. Holy shit. I died inside. I was laughing internally so hard. Oh my God. Keenan's white.
What, Jane? Fuck you.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Because like she offered up Tom. She's like, no, Tom's not white. And then what about Keenan? Oh, so that's pretty good. And so that's why I'm disappointed that Tim's not there, because I think that he would have enjoyed that.
Great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I also, it's funny. I have all the stuff I want to talk to out of the gate, and then I don't want to talk for like anymore after that.
You started with a showstopper, so now everything pales in comparison. Man.
Blow my load. So here's another thing. I know that you guys have both said on the show before, and I know especially Tim gives me some trouble about this, but the whole like pre-ordering games and getting deals and flipping whatever thing, like I'm really good at paying a little bit of money for my games.
You're going to talk about the EB deal that's going on in Canada right now.
So let me tell you, I have games.xlsx on my computer.
Yeah.
There are 23 rows. And then I have a whole bunch of information for release date. And so this, I guess before I go to explain it, it's just a spreadsheet that shows like all the games that I have pre-ordered. Because I try to pre-order as much as I can if it's going to be a day one purchase, because then I can save money ahead of time, right?
Sure.
So I have 22 games pre-ordered right now. There are currently, so there's 4 games that I'm interested in that I don't have, 5 games, 6 games pre-order that I don't have pre-orders on. And I think let me explain. Neo 2 is not in any system anywhere yet. It's too early. All right.
Yep.
Ghost of Tsushima, I don't have a pre-order on yet. I couldn't do it at EB, and I don't think it's anywhere else either, is it?
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Yeah. So there's that. Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
You found that on pre-order now?
No, nobody's got it yet.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that I really am interested in is it's just not available yet. It feels like a bunch of that stuff may not come out this year.
Right. The Daemon X Machina.
Yeah.
Not available yet anywhere. And then the other one I don't have pre-ordered is Destiny 2 Forsaken, because I don't think I'm going to buy it. I think I might be done with Destiny. So outside of those, I have a whole bunch of stuff pre-order, right?
Yep.
I'm going to tell you the big ones first, and then we'll go down. So and so the other thing too is I have a column called Keep, and then it's either a green box or a yellow box. Green boxes are like 100% day one, like keeping this thing. And then yellow boxes as it approaches release date, I may or may not cancel the pre-order, right?
Hey, quick question.
Mhm.
Is this spreadsheet shit like something that you normally do, or is it just like something just because it's games?
In what way? Outside of video games, what?
This tracking stuff, like
Dude,
that
I
you're
track
doing right
everything.
now.
You know that. So I track stuff on like so Letterbox. My Letterbox account is up to date, and it's been like what 5, 6 years that I've been keeping that.
Jesus.
I keep like my anime list, and I have like a stupid, like really, really stupid, close like budget tracker. Like, I got lots of shit. I like data. I like playing with data. I like looking at things.
Got it. Okay, so
All
in
right.
this sheet now, you have your
In this
stuff
sheet
that you
now,
still want to get but is not
yeah.
available.
Let me tell you.
And
Hold on. So, Death Stranding. I'm going to tell you games. Death Stranding, I have for 38% off from like 2 years ago. Maybe it was
sure.
last year, right? But I have it pre-ordered at Walmart and at Amazon. Both are $50, but I'm nervous about the Amazon one. And Walmart, I'm sure is okay, but I'm going to hold on to both of them for the time being, just in
Sure.
case, right? As we get closer.
Have you ever held like this all the way to the end? Because like from my understanding, Walmart you can't cancel after like the first 18 days.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Yeah, you can. And that might be a new thing. There's like a online chat that you can get CSR in and just ask them to cancel it and they'll do it.
Okay. So what if you have to pull two of them like that? Do you just have to sell one, or
no? I'll just return one. Return to Walmart. Who gives a shit?
All right.
Yeah, I don't care. So long story short, I'm not going to go through all these games, but I have a whole bunch of games on 100%, or sorry, on 38%, 37%. Those are all like the $50 Walmart deals that came out of this E3.
Yeah.
I have a 20% on Yakuza 2 Kiwami from Best Buy. They had a little deal on that. It's a little cheaper. 20% is better than nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem I have is that Amazon used to be 20% off pre-orders with Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And then it dropped to 10%.
Yep.
And from what I am hearing, they're getting rid of it altogether, which means there's no reason for me to keep Amazon Prime.
Yep. Oh, I thought you canceled already.
I got it back because a different reason. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Do you have an alumni email?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I never took it or whatever.
Okay. So I have a couple of pre-orders like that. All right. Like 10% left. Octopath Traveler, Mario Tennis Aces.
Okay.
But there's a bunch that are not eligible anymore.
Okay.
Now to get to the EB local trade-in, they had a deal recently. Actually, I think it's still running. I think they extended. It was supposed to run until yesterday, and then I think they've extended it until the 24th or something, maybe next Sunday. So if you listen to this, you may want to get in on it. It was worth it for me, that's for sure. Because they take last gen games too. They'll take like PS3 and 3DS games. As long as they're over $3 trade-in value. And so what happens is that you get the trade-in value, and then for every 3 games, they give you another $20 credit.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So, for example, if I brought in 3 shitty-ass games that are worth $3 each, I'd get $9, but I'd also get $20 more, so $29 for those 3 shit games.
Okay.
All right. So what it is, I took all my games, went through, and I looked and see what I had. The things that I was never going to play again, things that meant nothing to me, just, trade in bullshit, right?
Yep.
And I brought probably about 20 games.
Okay.
And most of them were worth more than $3.
Okay.
And with that trade-in bonus, I walked out yesterday with Octopath Traveler paid off.
Yeah.
Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise paid off.
Okay.
Super Mario Party paid off.
Okay.
Sekiro paid off.
Okay.
And $7 in Death Stranding.
Wait, why do you have it at $7 in Death Stranding?
I needed to put it in something, and there was like no other game that I wanted that I didn't have like 20% off on otherwise. Like all of those games.
Put it on tennis or something like that?
Well, so that's what I'm kind of thinking of, because I already have Mario Tennis for 10% off, right? And so I wanted to put it on a game that didn't have
any savings. Promo. Yeah.
And so I paid off everything that didn't have savings, and then I put it in Death Stranding because I can just move it out of Death Stranding later. The game's not coming out for another 2 years, right? And so I have time to kind of move it around if I need it.
It reminds me of $120 in EB credit that I haven't put to anything.
Yeah, there you go. Pre-order. So that's cool. I mean, and you can laugh all you want. So one thing that I keep track of is the MSRP.
Yeah.
For all of these games that I'm buying.
And how much savings you have off of the MSRP for everything?
MSRP is $1,244.
Great.
All right.
Yeah.
You know how much? So this is including the EB trade-ins.
Sure.
All right. So with the discounts, and that's $1,200 before tax, pre-tax. And so my total pre-tax with the savings percentages plus the EB trade-ins. All right. Again, the original MSRP, $1,244.
Yeah.
Total pre-tax, $695.
So now I have another question for you.
Okay. All right.
So do you jerk off to those numbers late at night?
Oh my God, you have no idea. You have no idea. I think that's pretty good though, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
That's wheeling and dealing. That's playing the game. Yeah, so that's cool.
It's still $600. So
yeah, but bullshit, you don't spend $600 in video games in a year.
That's true.
And this is potential purchases.
Sure. You might shuffle things around still.
Let me very quickly. You stop me if you hear anything you want to talk about. But I'll tell you my 100% keep for sure, okay? Mario Tennis Aces, Octopath Traveler, Yakuza 2, Kiwami, Lost Paradise, Mario Party, Smash Brothers, which might turn yellow. We'll see. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and Neo 2. All right. The only other
why is that turning yellow? Smash Brothers, what happened?
Well, I don't think I might not play it because I didn't really play Smash Brothers 4 that much. I don't have anybody to play with. It's only fun local.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right? So I don't know. We'll see. The other one I have for sure is Let's Go Eevee, that Pokemon one that's like a remake of Red and Blue. The reason being, I have no interest in it myself, but it's 2-player simultaneous, and I think that it would be really fun to play with kid. Right? Like it's super simple, it's something easy, and it's something that we could do co-op. I think that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll probably pick that up. And then as my maybes, this may be a little more controversial. Maybe you can help me change it red instead of yellow. What do you think about Go Vacation? Again, for the same reason, like to play with kid.
I don't know, man. Did you get the Wii one?
No, I didn't. But the Wii U one is apparently exactly the same thing, just for Wii U.
I don't
know. Not, sorry. It's the Wii U one,
yeah,
just for Switch.
I don't know. I'm not ultra convinced about these kinds of things, but I mean, if you're playing with your kid, right?
Yeah, I know. If it were just me, 100% no chance.
How much did you pay for it?
$58.
I don't know.
It's
that's a used game purchase for $30.
It's a dark yellow. It'll probably be a cancel, to be honest. But I have till the end of July to figure it out. See how long the summer is.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're not doing anything and then you're bored, you might want to pick it up so that you have something to play with.
Yeah, we'll see. Dragon Quest 11 is a maybe. Partially because it comes out the week after Yakuza 2, and it also comes out the week I start work again.
And it comes with a racist soundtrack.
Yeah, the racist soundtrack is a turn off. So yellow at this point. We'll see.
Nah, you should turn it red. If it's coming out just before your school time, it's just gonna fall by the wayside.
Dragon Quest games don't really go on sale though, do they?
No, but I mean,
like if I'm just gonna buy it a little while later, then I don't know. It's yellow. That's why it's yellow, right?
That's why it's yellow. I'm trying to push you one way. You keep pushing back, then
yeah, I don't know.
That's what I try to do here.
I have Final Fantasy VII Remake on here, which I'm not super excited about, but I got it for $50.
Yeah, and who knows when it'll come out, because Square didn't even say anything during E3.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, I flip this shit, right?
Oh yeah, and it's also episode 1. Remember, it's like an episodic one.
Well, that's what I was curious about, like a full price release. I don't know if that's the case or not. We'll see. We'll see. And then some other shit, Metroid Prime 4, whatever. Ghost of So the interesting thing, here's the part that I want to talk about. Did you see a trailer for Hyper Sports R during E3?
Yeah. Yep.
So it is
it was making its rounds. Like everybody was kind of into like talking about it.
Yeah, so it's a remake of the old. Was it called Hyper Sports? I don't remember it being called Hyper
Track and Field, right?
Yeah, Track and Field, right? For NES. Is that the one where you use your hands on the running pad thing?
Yeah.
And that was fun as hell. And this looks really fun. Again, in this would be fun with my kid kind of way. So eyes open. We'll see.
Let's wait and see what people say about Konami.
Character designs are shit. And the problem is I see a Konami logo and I'm like, oh, Konami, that means something, but it doesn't.
That means health spas.
Health spas and pachinko machines. Awful.
That's right.
So I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to be convinced more that this is more than a $5 purchase.
What did when we talked last time, we were watching the Sony show and Microsoft gone. I think everything was done except for Nintendo's.
Yeah, let's talk about the Nintendo show for a bit, because you seem to be pretty positive about it. Most of the internet was pretty negative. I'm pretty much, well, that was their strategy, and I can see why people are not happy. That's the way I look at it. But you know, like I don't know, like what made you feel like not bad about that conference?
There was things I wanted to play. That Smash Brothers looked fun. I mean, I realize that it's kind of like a 4.5.
Sure.
But it looks interesting. I like the idea of like, what is there, like 60 different characters or something? Like that's cool. I was really, really impressed with Super Mario Party. I think it looks really, really good.
I think it could look like it's putting to use a lot of the tech that they were showing before, right, into a minigame collection.
And that's great. That's a perfect use for it, I think.
The only problem you have is you got to convince one of us to buy it, and I'm the only guy that.
Why?
Well, because like a lot of them are like 2-screen like Switch.
I think right? Some of them. I wouldn't say a lot of them. I bet you that it's like there's probably 4 or 5 like little bullshit tack on ones that are not even part of the main game.
Okay.
I would assume that that's the case. I watched one of the Treehouse streams after, and they were showcasing some of the games, and it looked really fun. So we'll see.
All right. You convinced me to buy it.
The one thing I thought was interesting is that the characters that you choose, I think it's optional to set it up this way, but character specific dice. And so maybe Mario has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Bowser has like 0, 1, 1, 5, 10 or something. You know what I mean? Which is kind of interesting.
Well, it's varying it up and giving characters an actual personality in the game, right?
Sure. I saw somebody did math for kind of the mean die roll for each, and they all end up being between 3.5 and 4, and so there's not really a real difference between them. It's just kind of how you play it, right?
Yeah, how you feel.
So it's something interesting anyway, right?
Yeah.
I thought the Daemon X Machina thing looked interesting. I'm not 100% sold yet, but it looked interesting for sure.
I don't. Have you played the Armored Core games?
Not really.
It looks like Armored Core Armored Core to me. Like the way the mech is kind of floating in the air, sort of thing. The thing that I would say about Armored Core is that it's a game that required just about every single button and stick in a PlayStation controller. So it was kind of a thing to have to do like several different kind of claw configurations with your hands in order to hit everything that you need to. So I don't know. It's kind of super complicated, but well, maybe they'll simplify the control scheme.
Yeah, we'll see. It is. I'm not totally sold on the art style either. I think the aesthetic is a little. I don't know. It feels.
Again, it's definitely Shoji Kawamori like mecha designs. It's definitely his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. It's early too, right? I don't really have a lot to say about it. Fire Emblem looked amazing.
Yeah, like that looks that was a one that I was super excited for. Like I wanted to
dynamic looking battles. Immediately.
Right? Yeah. I like the army look now of it. It has shades of Kessen to me. Yeah. That old PlayStation game.
Yeah, no, I dig it, and so I'm absolutely excited to see more. I thought there was enough at the conference that piqued my interest.
Yeah, I mean, I think they tried to focus a bit more on what's coming out this year. Although it's odd that they didn't have more on Metroid Prime, something that's coming out extremely soon.
I don't think it's coming out extremely soon.
You don't think so anymore?
Oh well, I never did, and there's no way.
Okay.
It won't be out in 2018, that's for sure.
Okay. Because I thought they made an announcements or something to the fact that it was supposed to come out this year. Because like they haven't released anything from gameplay, right?
No, it was just the logo.
Oh, okay. All right then, my mistake. But I don't know. Like, I think Nintendo and Sony focused on first party on the conferences. I think Microsoft threw a lot of third party bunk out there and made it look like they have a huge lineup, and that's why everybody was so impressed by their conference. So I think that's how it ended up falling out. Like everybody was like, "Oh, I was hoping Nintendo would have a lot more third-party stuff in the conference." Like, they'll let them use their own floor space and time to talk about that stuff. You know, I just feel like that's how the conference kind of went. Sony and Nintendo focused squarely on first party or second party things, and that's how that worked out. Was there anything else outside of the stuff that we saw in the conference that was announced that you were really hyped for?
I don't think so. Like I said, outside of the Hypersports R, the other one that I might be somewhat interested in is that Gal Metal, the Tak Fuji game, is coming. It's coming west this fall. I don't think it'll be. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't think it'll be good, because I don't think it will be. But it's interesting in any case, and so I might check it out. And I like that dude a lot. Tak Fuji's a cool dude.
For sure.
So it's almost one of those things where I don't know. That's where you start to build. You respect somebody. You kind of want to support their craft, their thing, right? After he left Konami, I want to follow this guy. You know.
Sure.
Yeah. Overall, I think E3 was not super this year. It was fine.
I think they're gonna have continued issues as long as they make E3 this kind of half industry, half gamers event, because there's stuff that they probably don't want to say too much about at the conference anymore, because people will be bugging them at their booths the entire weekend about it. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I think Valkyria Chronicles 4 actually was something that I'm a bit interested in, because it seems like they're going back to the first one, the mechanics of the first one. So
Did you know I traded both of them away on on Sunday?
I'd be interested to
Like
play it on
the
PC.
PS.
Like I'm not gonna get it
No,
on
I mean
PlayStation
both of them.
4.
Like I traded away Valkyria Chronicles and Valkyria Chronicles Remastered for PS4,
Yeah.
like the same game twice.
You were 2/3 of the way to get your $20.
Yeah.
I thank them for that.
Outside of that, have you played anything this week?
Yeah,
If I
did
get
you play Octopath?
no, so I downloaded the demo for it.
Mm-hmm.
I played the first demo to completion. I played both of the storylines in the first demo.
Sure.
In this most recent one, I started. Is her name Ophelia, the healer?
Yeah.
I started her story.
Cleric, right? Yeah.
Yeah, cleric. I played it for maybe 20 minutes, and Jane was beside me, and it was cool to see her like kind of interested in an older style JRPG. Like she was into the story, and she was asking me questions about the dad and what do you think's going to happen with this, which I thought was really exciting. And so I wonder if I'll play it kind of with her. When you were a kid, did you and your brother sit down and play RPGs together, where one of you would play and the other one would just sit and watch?
Yeah, and there were rules about who could like hop over. Like you couldn't hop over the next brother's like save.
Yeah,
Because like
for sure.
because whoever like it was bought as a present for either my brother or me, right? It was either Christmas present or birthday present. So it wouldn't be right if I finished the game or got ahead of my brother in Final Fantasy 3, for example, because
we just kept one save. Like it was really me playing and my brother watching.
Okay.
But I considered it, maybe he didn't. I assume he did, considered it like a team effort. Yeah, it just I have good memories of playing Final Fantasy like that. And so maybe something like that'll play. Probably not, just because I'll blow past her. If she goes to bed, that's when I play video games, right?
Yep.
But depending on how separate they keep the stories, I could save like Ophelia's story for her. I don't know if that's how it works. I assume that they converge at some point, but
I started Hanet's story. She's the hunter.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of interesting because she captures monsters and summons them. So her gameplay is pretty different from a lot of the other people.
I read that you can capture that big dragon thing that you fight.
Yeah. I wasn't sold on it before. I'm still kind of worried about dividing the story like this, like how it was in the Romancing Saga series.
Saga Frontier.
Yeah. Are you worried about that at all, or do you think it'll be fine?
Story-wise, I think it'll be fine. Yeah. I'm gonna buy it, but I'm not 100% sold. I'm not so excited because
you didn't like their previous games.
No, it's not that. It's just it's kind of talky, which is a stupid thing for me to say because it's like a story-driven JRPG.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of, when sometimes games will have dialogue, but in between dialogue they emote, and it takes like a second between text windows to like get on with things.
Yeah.
It seems really slow paced.
Did you put it on quick?
Yeah, but it's like the emoting in between, like having a little speech bubble with 3 dots in it, or a tear in it, or somebody walking somewhere, or somebody bowing their head.
I'm surprised you didn't say that it's the English that they have all over the place. That's like kind of takes you a second more to read it.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. And I actually think that the voice acting is like super overacted. But I don't.
You changed to Japan.
No, I'm not doing it. But it's super. The English voices are super overacted, but it seems that it's not bothering me. I actually quite like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just don't want to hear English people going forsooth and all of that stuff, like High Solemn will do this, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I don't mind it because it reminds me of Valkyrie Profile.
Did it have that?
Oh yeah, it did. Oh yeah.
I remember Dragon Quest having it. I don't. Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. You are right. Yes. Totally, that was the PlayStation one. That was.
That was great.
The original had that, or only like the remaster
No,
or
the
whatever.
original one did for PlayStation. That's the only one I played.
So I must have played in Japanese at the time. I don't remember it.
So yeah, I played a little bit of that. I've been playing the shit out of Hollow Knight.
Uh-huh.
I purposefully saved it for Switch, and I'm really, really happy that I did.
And what are your thoughts on it?
It's super, super fun. It's really strong. It's funny because I was ready this morning to come on the show and say, like, it's a lot of fun. It's good. I've been plowing through it, but it gets really, really hard later. I don't know how far you played, but
Yeah.
some of the bosses get stupid, like really hard. But then after school, I sat down with it for about an hour, and I kind of took a different approach with equipping charms. Have you played it that much?
I did, and I don't remember the charm system
Okay, so the
anymore.
idea is that you have these like badges, these charms that you can equip, and then they modify your character in some way. And so, for
Yeah.
example, there's one that makes you stink, and so it leaves kind of like an after trail. And if enemies go into that after trail, then they take damage.
Uh-huh.
There's one that when you heal yourself, there's like a burst of something that comes out, and that can damage enemies. Some
Right,
stuff
right,
makes
right.
your sword swing faster, or little things like this,
They're
modifiers to make.
modifiers rather than percentage markers, right? Like
Yeah,
you don't get like 3% more damage or whatever.
yeah,
It's just
yeah. Here's a little thing that happens. And so you have a certain number of slots to equip these, and different badges have different um, slot requirements. So if it's
Yep.
super powerful, maybe it takes up 3 or 4, and if it's just a little thing, then maybe it takes up 1, right?
Yeah.
And then as you progress through the game, you unlock more slots.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and so I completely switched up my usual boss fighting strategy after work today,
Uh-huh.
and I completely cleaned like 3 bosses that I couldn't touch for the past couple days.
I see.
So that was kind of interesting. And so now I'm kind of making progress again. I think I'm very, very close to the end. But
Yeah.
I've also been hearing that. So all of the DLC is included in the Switch version.
Oh, okay.
And I was surprised how cheap it was. It was like $15 or something, like
Yeah, they're
with all
reasonable.
with all the DLC included.
Hmm.
Like that surprised me. It was as cheap as it was, because I was willing to pay a lot more.
They were making the rounds during E3, like as part of the Nindies thing. Like the head guy was bringing them around and stuff, like on interviews and stuff. So it might have been they were getting that kind of. They're trying to maybe do like a bit lower price and maybe get more people into it. Hopefully.
Sure. Well, especially
Yeah.
because it's been out for other systems for quite a while now.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so I'm not sure what's DLC and what is base game. Because I guess it's pretty
Integrated.
yeah, it's tied into what it's $16.99 in Canada, $15 in the States.
Hmm.
And so apparently there's like a whole other thing that's part of DLC that's hidden in the game, and I haven't found it yet, and it's like a ton of content.
Okay.
And apparently I read something else. I don't know how much truth there is to this stuff, but I also read something else that after you beat it, there's like 50% of the game left to play after that. Like I don't know how much content is in it. And I feel like I've already got like my money's worth out of it, so I'm super happy with it.
And you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It controls really well. I don't often feel like it's cheap.
Yep.
If I die, I think most of the time it's my fault,
Oh.
which is good.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm impressed with it.
How are you with the art style?
It's fine. It's very dark.
Yes.
And at the beginning it was cool, but it's just like gray the whole game.
The monotonous color.
Yeah, and there's variations in each of the zones. Maybe there's some purple mushrooms, or there's one part that's really nice that's lush and overgrown.
Yeah.
For the most part, you're just in caves.
Yeah.
Which is, again, it's fine. But if you compare it to something like Castlevania, where you have like a ballroom and clock tower and catacombs and library, and like there's a lot of different kind of areas, where in this they all look somewhat similar.
Underground, decrepit, bony kind of places.
Yeah. And I have to say they've done a good job at making distinct areas within the underground broken theme.
Yes,
because they are different. It's just you know,
Not enough different.
no, just the general aesthetic is very dark and gray, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Which I get fits the themes of the game, and uh, just so I don't. It's more of a note than a nitpick, you know.
Sure, sure, sure.
I also played. I bought 2 Switch games on a whim.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Just Shapes and Beats?
No.
It
Is it a
is
music game?
so it's a music game. How do I explain this? It's like a shoot 'em up where you don't shoot, you just survive, like don't get hit by shit. And it's like things move on a rhythm basis.
Okay.
That's the game. You get it now, right?
Yep.
There's a strong multiplayer component. And
Okay.
I haven't touched any of the multiplayer stuff. I've just been doing story mode. But it's hard as shit. Like it's really hard. So I think it would be a lot of fun to play with multiple people.
Okay.
It was a little expensive. I think it was $30.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was a smart purchase. But I also haven't spent a lot of time with it. But I haven't spent a lot of time with it because I'm not excited to play it. Is that fair?
Sure. But I mean, the graphics look pretty nice on it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely come back to it. It's just a matter of when. Another game I bought, and this game cost like almost nothing. I think it was less than $5. It's called Pirate Pop Plus. Have you heard of Pirate Pop Plus?
Is that like the pop-up pirate thing, or
have you heard of Super Buster Brothers?
yes?
It's Super Buster Brothers.
Okay.
With a
GBA graphics. It looks like.
Well, no, with Game Boy, like
Game Boy,
hard
sorry.
GB graphics.
Okay.
It is very simple.
Yeah.
It is a game where you play, and then you die, and then you play again, and then repeat. Right. So it's not so much a story mode or you go through a map. It's very arcadey, where you shoot at a bunch of bubbles and then you die and then you just do it again. And then the longevity, kind of the hook, is that you're playing on a like pocket game thing. So when you push the D-pad or push the button, it shows the button push because it's just a square in the middle of the screen because it's Game Boy emulated kind of thing.
Okay.
But then you collect coins, and then you can use the coins to unlock like different color filters and different Game Boy shells, and there's a bunch of different things like that. So it's interesting. It's fun. It was on sale. So right now it is what did I see? $6 in Canada, and it was on sale for like $2 or $3.
Is it multiplayer Buster Brothers or just single player?
Single, from what I understand.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, it would have been cool. It's just you know what? There would be no room for 2 people.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. You're right. Okay, yeah, because it's not a full screen because it's a portion of it because the controller and stuff are taking up. Okay.
The one thing that's really cool about it too is that there's like this magnet system. So Buster Brothers, if you haven't played Buster Brothers, it's like you shoot a hook towards the roof and hope the hook hits a bubble
or the wire.
Yeah, or the wire, sure. So the thing on this is that there's a magnet. There's magnets on the 4 sides of the screen, and then the magnets start flashing, and then you fly over to like run up and down the wall or run back and forth on the roof. So you're not just on the floor. And it changes the physics of the bubbles. And so if they're bouncing up and down and then it switches sideways, then the bubbles will, like along their current path, be affected by like gravity pulling them towards where you now are.
Okay.
And so it gives you a chance to get above the bubbles. And if you're above them, then you can kind of maneuver on top of them, and then you bounce off of them to pop them with your feet.
Okay.
So it's cool. Like it's pretty interesting.
So it's not just the hook. So they made some mods on it to make it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, a little bit is right. It's it's a $3. It's a $3, right? Like it's but I mean, I like it. I like it quite a bit. It's a nice 3-star game, you know?
Sure.
The only other game that I wanted to talk about that I got from the old library that is not a nice 3-star game is a 1-star piece of shit. Yooka-Laylee is fucking terrible.
Oh my god. Why did you get
Well,
that?
just because it's from the like his library, it's free. And I just think, oh, I'll
I
give it a shot
understand.
because it's, I mean, it's a 3D collectathon, right? Like, who gives a shit? I like that kind of game. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it is.
But I thought, like, oh, you know, it disappointed people, but it's fine. No, it's shit. Like, it's really bad.
Well, I mean, see, I know it's free, but your time is also worth something, I
Yeah,
hope.
my like 20 minutes of, I mean, it's 20 minutes. Who gives a shit, right? It just, I could not believe how bad it was.
There's
Like the
also
voices are bad, the text is bad, like it's not polished at all. The camera is atrocious.
oh,
Like it's, oh man, I was like one of the worst games I've played in the last couple of years, and I don't think that's hyperbole. It's that bad. Do not play
that's
ukulele.
pretty terrible sounding.
But is that? But that's not the impression I got from internet though. Like I wasn't keeping close
What?
tab. I wasn't keeping close tabs on it, but I didn't know it was garbage. I thought it was just like disappointing because some people were expecting Second Coming. To be honest.
No, I know that's what their expectation was, but I'm pretty sure it was universally derided for what exactly it became afterwards. It's
Oh,
just
I missed that.
it's not. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like it's a terrible game. Everything I saw about it was terrible.
Yeah, so surprising.
So let's see. What was I? So besides Octopath, I really haven't been doing a heck of a lot. My brother's actually in town this week, so it's been about a bunch of time hanging out with him. And we just got back from the States today, and now it's a bunch of home renovation stuff. So put up some blinds. So the new blinds are here and a bunch of other stuff. So it's pretty busy hacking together a couple things like some new light fixtures and stuff. I've got actually some stuff I bought for you, buddy. So
Oh,
next time
cool.
you're over, I'll hand you over some stuff.
That's very
Yeah,
nice of you.
yeah, but yeah. We'll see, man. I right now I just don't think like are we still in a lull right now?
In terms of,
Games.
to be honest, I don't think so. I think that this year's been a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
think that there has been a lot that's come out already this year.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about things.
I'll tell you what, I actually did spend a bit more time with Dead Cells lately. I've gone further than I did before just by not trying to kill every single enemy and just trying to run through a bunch of it. So yeah, I think the game is it feels like they've done a lot of improvements to the game. I don't know what it's going to be like in the final state, but it seems like it's getting there.
Is this still early access?
It's still early access, which is weird to me. Like I feel like they have a complete game there, but I might be wrong. And then I also Neo on the computer was on sale, and it's a complete edition. So I ended up picking that up for about $30, just so that I can get through that hopefully, because I didn't get too far on the PlayStation 4 version, but yeah, we'll see.
Fantastic fucking game.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
It was fun for what I played, and I'm interested to get back in there.
Good.
But
Good.
yeah.
It's always exciting to hear people playing games that you really like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you
Um,
want to share that experience, right?
yeah. Do you know one game that I really had a lot of trouble getting other people to play was Near. And I
You
and I
still have trouble, buddy.
well no, and that's what I mean though. Like it sucks when, it's something that um was, how do I say? I don't want to say it was like, transcendental or anything, but like it is something incredibly special. And I
It's a hallmark in your life. Like there's a point before near and point after near, right?
sure, yeah, you could say that. It's just I think that it's trendy to say, oh, Nier's really great because Automata and stuff like this. Um, but the first one really is a special game, and I actually think that I prefer it to the second one.
Yeah.
I think that the second one, the game is better for sure. Like the game
Yeah.
is without a doubt a better game. Um, but there's something to Nier 1 that Nier 2 doesn't have.
It's humans probably.
Yeah, to be honest, it probably is. Yeah, no joke. It honestly probably is.
I mean, you're disconnected by another degree because it's androids, but I'm near to me. Even if they did a remake, I'd need a lot of convincing to go through it. Like I'd want them to. They'd have to show me that they're going to make it a little bit easier to get through. Like I know the slog is a part of it, right? Because that makes you appreciate part of the story that's in there. Like it's actually a big deal about it. But I just
disagree. I think that the game is a piece of shit and it should be better. Just, you know what though? No, and to be honest, there is a part in the game where once you hit it, it's about again, it's hard to recommend a game where you're like, oh man, when you get to 20 hours, you know what I mean? And I don't
that's
think
what you had to do with Nier Automata, right? As well.
To a lesser degree, though, I think like it got really good later, but I still think that it was easily accessible for the majority of it, right?
Yeah.
It's just there was a story beat that happened in, and you know what? Maybe you're right. I don't know if I've ever thought of it in terms of you have to struggle through this to appreciate what comes, right? But there's something that happens later on in the story, maybe 12 hours in or something. And as soon as it happens, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like what is this game? Right. And I think that hit me way harder than anything I ever would have expected. And then from then it was like a complete lock. Like I will play this game to completion. But how do you get somebody to slog through the beginning to get to that point, right? And I understand it's a large ask, but
I mean, you'll have an easier time now because like people will say, "Look, did you enjoy the first did you enjoy the first two routes of Nier Automata? Not it wasn't the greatest. Like the first one was kind of a fairly cookie cutter kind of take on things with some mysteries thrown in there that would pique your interest, right? Second playthrough of Automata is more so there's a lot of repetition in it. A lot of people who didn't really like the first go around really had a trouble with the second one, and most people had to be convinced to go through it in order to go through the third go around, right? So I know it's not for us and other, but there's a bunch of like once that game got its legs and everybody was saying, "Oh, you got to play this." That was the feedback that normally happened, right? That people were like, "Oh, I gotta just bust it down to easy so you can get through the."
But how crazy is it that we had people like playing that game? Like even the fact that Nier was played by anybody is an achievement, right? Like it's cool that there were people playing it and then it did pretty well.
Well, think about it this way too. Like how many games has Yoko Taro made? And now with just this one game that he made, I'm sure Square is contemplating what's their next move. Do they remake all of them like Drakengard and all of that stuff?
I fucking hope
not. or what do they do, right? Like maybe they do a Drakengard 1 to 3 condensed version so that they can have like a full story there that's easier to play and have Platinum redo some of the combat, right?
There's no way.
You don't like I don't know, that's Square's MO for a lot of their stuff is to re-release their stuff now, right?
Yeah, but Drakengard is garbage.
Sure.
Like but the reason like Drakengard is not because the gameplay was good at all. It was despite the gameplay that like, you know, I want to see some fucked up shit.
Well, yeah. I mean Drakengard is basically Dynasty Warriors in a lot of ways. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people really took to that net nowadays, but yeah. But I don't know. Like I'm sure they're contemplating putting Nier back out there, but they're gonna remake it and stuff. I'm absolutely sure that's the talk after what happened with Automata. Yeah. He's not gonna. I think that's gonna buy him time until he figures out what he wants to do next. To be honest,
Drakengard 4. Did you
more
play?
radio dramas and dramas in like off Japanese Broadway.
Did you play Dragon Guard 3?
Not 3, no.
A lot of people, I would say that most people hated it. I think it was pretty critically panned, but I love the shit out of it. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
That's the one with the girl with a flower in her eye,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh,
It's funny. This is where we
I
get
thought
into
that
the
was
part
like
of the
some
show
weird
where
sexually charged game. Like that was like a big criticism of that. I don't know.
but if you so I don't think that it was obvious though. Like it wasn't gross if that was the case. I mean, you could say
Sure.
the same thing about Nier Automata too though, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But that's not how I read it ever.
Okay.
And I didn't read Dragon Guard 3 the same way, whether it's me being naive or completely ignoring like obvious messages. But
Sure.
I don't want them, and so I can ignore it, right? Like
And
there's some
I think he's puts that in there to make fun of people for that stuff too. Like if I read Yoko Taro's writing properly most of the time, like I think you're safe in making that assumption.
but it's cool. I mean, I like being thrown into a world where I don't understand what's happening, right? But it's true though. Like there's a world here, a very like so using Dragon Guard 3 as an example, uh there's very clearly a world built around these characters. There's a story
Yes.
where things are happening.
Yes.
I don't understand any of it, and I'll pick up pieces of it as we go. And
Sure.
I don't mind that at all. I would actually prefer that to straight up storytelling. And I think that maybe that's one of the big differences between, and whether this is a cop out or not, I think that that's one of the differences between the, Western AAA titles that Sony showed that I have no interest in. And, so I would rather play Drakengard. And in a big way, I think it's because of that. Like the world is more interesting to me. And I don't need to know the details of this world. Like just it's cool that there's five, I think they're sisters, 5 or 6
Yep.
sisters, and like 5 of them are trying to kill the other one,
Yep.
and their names are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's amazing. I
Yep.
don't like that's the shit I like. It just it scratches that itch, and I want more of that. And I'm sure that God of War is amazing, and Horizon Zero Dawn is amazing, and I don't know what other games are like. Last of Us is amazing. Like I'm sure all those games are great. They're boring to me.
They
I
don't
have
take the kind of crazy risk on the
Yeah.
story.
I want to see some
Okay.
screwed up shit. Because but see, if you're trying to tell a story that's normal, there are
But
a
you
lot
see
of
that there's a balance to it too. Like the way that he does it, at least he has some underpinning and some understanding of what he wants to say, and he's not just throwing it out there for
Did you play Dragon
shit's
Guard
sake.
3?
I'm just saying, like there's
No,
a different like there's other ones where they just throw like a lore dump. Like for example, let's use a North American one, like Matrix Reloaded, right? The second one, like that whole like architect like thing that lost the entire audience. Like that happens a lot in
Let's see. I
a
really
lot of
like
stories.
that shit.
All right, then I'm not with you then.
I just think it's cool. I like being thrown into something and not knowing the detail. Well, Hollow Knight's a perfect example of that too. Like there's some story happening in Hollow Knight. I have no fucking idea what's happening.
Sure.
Like I don't get what the story is. Like admittedly, I haven't been paying a lot of attention, but there's something about Rebirth and something about like a king and some old Hollow Knight, and like I don't really know what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
know there's some masks that I need to break or go into the dreams and suck their souls out or something so I can
Yeah.
go to some other place. Like I don't really understand any of it.
Yeah.
But there's some thread to lead me along, and that's good enough.
Dark Souls as well, right?
And now it's funny you say that because I didn't like Dark Souls for that reason. No, it's true. Like there wasn't enough there for me. I know a lot of people loved it for that reason, but there wasn't enough for me to grab onto.
Okay. See, I don't know. Like I've been watching this shitty show, Darling in the Franxx, which is anime on Crunchyroll right now, simulcasting, and they have this really annoying habit of everybody's talking normally, and then like they need to accelerate the story or get to a certain point in the story, so then they just do a massive quick info dump, like some character just talks like their head off about things that make absolutely no sense, and it just like loses me every single time. It's just like that kind of stuff, and the way that they do that, that really annoys me. Like, which is different from something like, once again, Nier and stuff. Like in those cases, they feed it to you in a slow enough pace that you can kind of probably catch up with most of it,
Sure.
as if you're at least paying attention to it strongly enough. But yeah, I don't know. Like Dark Souls was always a thing that everybody said, "Oh yeah, like you can find out stuff by reading the descriptions of rings and stuff." Like I don't know if that's really, but that's close to your Destiny like Grimoire card stuff,
Well, and there's another example though. I actually really liked the Grimoire stuff in Destiny. Like it was mysterious and there was some story there, but you had to kind of dig to get to it. And
yeah.
What do you think what is the switch? What's the thing that turns on, hey, this is interesting and I want to dig deeper, and this is frivolous bullshit I could not care less about?
It depends on how strong the originating story, I think, is to at least whet your appetite into finding out more. And then if it's there, then you can read into it. But if it's like Dark Souls, where you don't really have any real, like, my own feeling from playing Dark Souls was always that it was a little bit too light in giving you enough breadcrumbs of what the story, like overall arcing story, is. Like a lot of it is like main points that are in ring description should be brought out more in like characters interacting with each other. You know what I mean? And if too much of it is in that stuff, then you have a story that's not joined, and it isn't interesting enough to keep a person's attention. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like there's some things that we just connect with naturally, and then some things need a bit of work.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Good thing everybody can like different things, right?
Yeah. All right, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
All right, guys. It's hot out there. Stay cool.
It was so bad today. My workplace does not have air conditioning.
That's not good.
Oh, well, what can be done? All right, we'll talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.